Yes, Blender 2.78 now includes the Grease Pencil Animation Suite, with truly outstanding features like the dope sheet, the timeline, mouse and tablet-optimized drawing and painting, as well as a very powerful set of sculpting tools, with quick and direct squash and stretch through the use of bones. Control sliders make adjusting parameters a breeze. Let's now make the right mouse cursor the center for scaling and rotational operations. When using the scroll wheel for zooming, the center of focus is always located at the mouse cursor. Holding down the Shift key with the middle mouse button pans the view. Clicking the small plus sign at the left of the interface opens the brush and sculpting controls, while the right panel includes the layers and palettes. Use the keyboard shortcuts N and T to open and close these panels. You can instantly begin to draw by holding down the D key and then releasing. Grease pencil strokes and shapes are capable of incredible detail or being very smooth to begin with. Choose Edit Strokes from this menu, or alternatively hold down the D and Tab keys to toggle between these two modes. Notice that in the panel to the right, we have grease pencil layers. We also have onion skins, a color and style palette panel, where we can quickly make changes to grease pencil strokes and fills, along with the opacity of each one. Make sure you're in the Edit Strokes mode. We can use the A key as a toggle between selecting all strokes and selecting no strokes. By placing the right mouse cursor, pressing A to select all points, and then pressing S on the keyboard, we notice that scaling takes place toward the right mouse cursor. Right-clicking to place the pivot point also helps in rotating objects. With all points selected, just use your G key and release to move a shape anywhere in the view. Objects will always move in proportion to where the mouse pointer is located. Hold down the D and E keys simultaneously to open the pie menu for sculpting tools. Press F and release to adjust the brush size. Press Shift F to adjust the intensity of the tool. Press and hold the E key to use the sculpting tool that you've selected. Now select the Push tool from the menu and adjust the brush size and intensity. Press and hold the E key to use the Push tool. When zooming out, the brush becomes bigger. When zooming in, the brush becomes smaller. Releasing the E key leaves you in edit mode where you can select all points and place the 3D cursor. Scale the shape inward toward the 3D cursor, then move it out of the camera view. Hold down the Shift key with the middle mouse button to pan the view. With your cursor in the dope sheet, use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out of the frame view. Right-clicking anywhere in the frame view moves the time slider. Create a keyframe at frame 10 by pressing G and releasing and then moving the ball to this position. Move the time slider to frame 20 and then turn on the onion skins and adjust its color like this. Click and drag in this field to adjust the before frames to a large number. Do the same thing in this field for the after onion skins. Just right-click and drag in the dope sheet to check your animation. Advance another 10 frames and use the G key to place the ball here. Continue using the G key to move the ball in these following positions and frames. Either right-click anywhere in the dope sheet or right-click and drag to advance the time slider. Using the scroll wheel in the dope sheet will focus the zoom wherever the cursor is placed. Drag this end time slider to visually place the end of the animation range. The beginning of the animation always defaults to frame 1. Use these playback controls to check the timing of what you have so far. Everything is played in real time with no frame skipping, exactly as it will appear when rendered. Now let's start placing in between frames to establish the arcing of the ball and its timing. All points of the shape remain selected, so all we need to do is press the G key and release, and then place the position of the ball. Both the location of the keyframes and the drawings determine the speed of the ball. When you want the ball to slow down, place the drawings and the keyframes closer together. Press A on your keyboard to deselect all strokes, revealing the shape's outline. Press the play button in the playback controls to see your animation in real time. With only a few keyframes, the ball's timing is apparent and its motion is relatively smooth. The animation appears to be running a little slow. This is easy to correct. By pressing A with your cursor in the dope sheet, moving the time slider to frame 1, then pressing S and release, and moving the mouse to the left. The spacing of all the keyframes remains relative. Press the play button to watch the result. Once we're content with the timing, we can start adjusting the shape. Press and hold the D and E keys simultaneously to open the Sculpt menu, then select the Push tool. Press F to adjust the size of the brush, then hold down the E key to begin sculpting an in-between frame. Make the ball appear elongated while maintaining its relative volume. Use the up and down arrow keys to toggle forward and back through your keyframes. Continue by sculpting more key drawings, using the up and down arrow keys to select the desired keyframe. To create the squash and stretch drawings, move the time slider between two existing keyframes. Hold down the D and E keys simultaneously to obtain the Sculpting pie menu, and then select the Smooth tool and smooth this shape. Just click and drag on any point to close any gaps in your stroke. Hold the D and E keys down simultaneously to get the pie menu and select the Push tool again. With your cursor in the dope sheet, use the scroll wheel to zoom the view. Press A to deselect all points, then play back your animation to see the result. Continue to sculpt more in-between drawings to create the squash and stretch effects. You can correct any irregularities in your shape by using the Smooth tool. To move any points, just left-click and drag and then left-click again, thus confirming the move. Hold down and drag with the Shift key and the middle mouse button to pan your view. Press A to deselect all points, then play back your animation. Position your time slider for a new in-between, select Push from the pie menu, and then begin sculpting this in-between drawing. Use the up and down arrow keys to go back and forth through your keyframes. Press and hold the E key to continue sculpting these in-between frames. Use the right and left arrow keys to move one frame at a time forward or backward. Any sculpting you do will automatically produce a keyframe. Here, I accidentally selected and moved a keyframe. If you use the G key to move a frame, don't forget to left-click to confirm that move. Using the Pie menu allows you to quickly switch between smoothing operations and sculpting operations. Play back your animation to check the results. Hold the D and E keys simultaneously for the Pie menu and select the Push tool again. Then sculpt these in-between drawings. Right-click and drag anywhere in the dope sheet window to scrub through your animation. Press and hold the E key to sculpt one last in-between frame. Play back your animation to check the results. There appears to be a small error in timing near the end of the animation. Let's fix that now. Don't forget to left-click to confirm the position of the frame. Now, when we play back the animation, everything looks good. To make the smoothest animation possible, we can use the automatic in-between functions to create the in-between frames, thus filling in all the gaps. With your time slider anywhere in between two keyframes and your mouse cursor in the camera view, press Ctrl-Shift-E to fill in the gaps with a sequence automatically in-betweening the segment. Though we're using this function to close only small gaps in the animation, it can also be used to close larger gaps automatically, thus saving time.